What up YouTube, it's Mr. Hates Company. In this video we're looking at Diablo Immortal, more specifically the Shadow Wars. This past week we had the final rounds of our group stage in Shadow Wars on our servers, on all servers, and our server in particular was just so intense. I could not believe how this came down to the literal wire, down to the last few seconds. It was amazing to play. We had so much fun, lots of learnings, and if you guys don't know what Shadow Wars is or are, and you have don't know how to be a part of it, I'm here to tell you about it and also show you some gameplay of our Shadow Wars, and you're not going to want to miss it because, like I said, this goes down to the last second and it's super intense. It's crazy. So without further ado, let's jump straight into it. So when it comes time for Shadow Wars, you want to go to the three dots at the very top. You also want to make sure that you're a shadow and then you're in a dark clan. Those are the first, I guess, two precursors to be able to do this. And as you can see, it's the planning stages, the gathering stages, the showdown, and then the reckoning. So right now we are in the gathering phases, basically in the showdown. And then in this plus 10% damage done and minus 10% damage taken in Rite of Exile and Challenge of the Immortal, unlimited recruitment of the shadows. So basically this is where you fight to become an immortal, and then the reckoning is the absolute, this is where you challenge the immortal themselves. And now this is the first round of the Shadow Wars. So the brackets looked like this. As you can see, we won our very first fight. It was a very good fight. We definitely won by a relatively decent amount. They didn't have all their people, nor did we, but we did have more than they did. And that's what I'm going to say the most is easily the most important part of this is that you want to make sure you have as many people as you can in your alliance being active. And we'll actually look at the gameplay and some strategies that you'll get from it, but that is easily the most important step, is make sure you got people that show up. And then the second game here in the finals for our group bracket was just incredible. It was so much fun. I'm not going to show you the details because I'm actually going to show you the actual fight. And like I said, I will commentate it because this is all pre-recorded. But it was so much fun, and I can't wait to show you guys. But I would highly recommend making sure that this is a good way to represent your alliance, your clan, if you will. But it also it was so exciting to feel like, you know, there was passion behind the fight, like there was a reason to win, because we know we move on to the top 10, which is right here, and then from the top 10 we do a weekly showdown war to determine, or there's the weekly showdown war that determines the top 10. It says it right there at the bottom, and then that goes into the Rite for Exile to determine who is going to be the top immortals. And this is the first time. All of the servers will have immortals, and I'm very curious who the top is going to be. I think we have a pretty good chance. We showed up and we definitely learned a lot in the process. But yeah, let's go ahead and show you guys the gameplay of our Shadow War, because it was crazy. And like I said, I'm going to commentate on top of it and talk about some of the learnings that I had, because I actually wasn't able to make it to the first one, but I was there for this one, and it was a doozy. So let's jump straight into it. Okay, so here we are, and this is what you call like the countdown, or the where you're trying to figure out which room you should be in. So right now I am in the main battle. There's also a support 1 and support 2. I'm going to be honest, I have not done support 1 and support 2 yet, but just from watching this, it looks like support 1, support 2 are entered into the game at different points. So your main battle is who is there the longest, and then the support battles come in after certain thresholds. Is at least my interpretation. I could be dead wrong there. But this was our battle. I did, of course, keep in here the little cinematic because it was pretty cool, actually. When you play the game, you actually are explained what a shadow is and what an immortal is. And in doing so, you get to be a shadow fighting an immortal, trying to take it down. It's like 30 on 1. And that's what you do as the main battle. And then your alliance leader will actually do be the immortal and fight the other alliance that you're going up against, fight their 30 people. It's incredible. It's so much fun. So we are literally fighting the head of their alliance. And they are an immortal in this situation. They have unique skills. They're buffed up. They're huge. It's a good time. So here we are. We spawned in. The immortal is obviously at the top right here. It was weird. I couldn't move for a second. Again, I was on mobile at the time when I was recording this. So their strategy early on was a pretty obvious one. I'm gonna see if you guys can pick up on it. But so obviously it's just a DPS check, right? You're just DPSing them down as much as you can. The Immortal is so much bigger. They do move decently fast compared to us near shadows. So as you can see, he literally jumped from like one half of the map to the other, which is pretty crazy. And then he does a ton of damage. You do, instead of needing health pots, you have the ability of bandaging, which literally heals you to full, but if it's channeled, you get to like go off to the side, wait to do that like combat, if you will, and then channel up your healing. And here we are. So again, taking big damage. I go over here. I think I heal up. Yeah, as you can see, a little full health, and then the channeling effect. So this Immortal is just jumping back and forth. He is very rarely even fighting us. You could tell I was getting all nervous. I was getting flustered. I'm like hitting random buttons on my screen on accident, or hitting on people on the screen. You can tell like he's literally just jumping on cooldown, and then when he lands, he is like kiting us and then just immediately jumping away, which was a good tactic because you can see early on they're already off to a pretty decent lead. The health at the very top is what we're looking at here. So his health is going to be, let's see, it's going to be right here, the 77%. So we are losing, and then our Immortal was at 72%, which was our, and then I died. So you can be resurrected, which is great. But yeah, so the whole goal of this is to do more damage to the enemy's Immortal than they do to yours. So as you can see, it's going back and forth. Here you go. You can see in chat, we're telling Bud, who is the head of our alliance, play evasive. That's what he's doing. You can tell that's why they're beating us, because he is literally just kiting us back and forth all over the map. At one point, and you can see like people are like, kite, Bud, kite, because he was just getting destroyed. He had to have been like trying to just seize up and trying to fight him because he was taking some serious damage. You can see they activated some statues, which we do have to then burn down. Again, I got hit by like a couple whirlwinds there, and I felt it. It did not feel great. But then we're right back into it, burning down these guys. The skills that I was using, I am, of course, obviously a wizard. Were questionable. I think even at one point I do change my skills on the fly because I could just tell that I wasn't hitting him. So I wanted to make sure I was adjusting that as quickly as possible. And again, as you can see, they're up by 5%, which is a pretty decent margin. And considering they're down people as well, I mean, they are kicking our butt. It did not look good. And it did not look good for a long time. In fact, it's unfortunate how badly they were kind of kicking us in. We got people like logging on late. Again, this is only the second one. People are getting used to it. And I want to say the response right here is going to be a little rough because they thought the Kiger was talking to him, and he wasn't. Kiger was talking about what we were doing. But anyway, Kiger's a good guy. He's also a content creator. Yeah, so good times here. So like I said, this is where I changed my skills. I'm trying to go as fast as I can. I get like completely disoriented. I wanted to do a channel skill. That way I could, yeah, there you go. Sorry, Valay. Great. You know, Alliance is just fighting in our own alliance because he thought we were talking to them. But here we are. We're down 9%, as you can see. I mean, we are still getting our teeth kicked in here. So I wanted this channel ability. That way we could really I could do more damage for longer because it felt like my skill shots were just not the way to go. So I think here in a second we start to realize that this is not the way to beat them. They're now up 11%, 12%. Like they are just tripling us. And then somebody makes the call to separate out, and it kind of clicks for everyone. And we're like, oh, we have more people than them. We've had more people than them this whole time. And instead of like separating it out, you can see on the map here at the very, very top right, that we are literally all just chasing this Immortal the whole time back and forth. And we start to then finally spread out a little bit more, so that way when he does jump, we're just doing damage to him nonstop. So we're anticipating the jump, which definitely works out in our favor because goodness gracious, they're still at 9%, and it was just a heck of a fight. As you can see, he is just tearing through us. You do have to make sure you kite. I feel bad for all of like our melee DPS. Like that must be just painful to have to get that close and just take an absolute beating. I mean, obviously, I assume that you're more tanky, but yeah, it was rough there for a little bit. I mean, let's see if I get hit by anything here. So that's a little fear, makes you run away. Here, I thought for sure I was dead. Yeah, so I got hit by one ability and it chunked a good like 2/3 out of my health. So I heal back up, get back into the fight, Stop following and stay on both sides to keep DPS going. As soon as I read that, I was like, well, no, Shiza. That's the way you beat this. You make him just run around and not do damage, and you just DPS him the whole time. This is where it starts to get interesting. There's 45 seconds left. We're at 35%. They're at 39. Again, here you go. I anticipated the jump. Got to hit him with a nice little flame. Just got completely obliterated, but did get some nice DPS in there before I died. I'm trying to figure out why I'm here now instead of being resurrected. It was kind of wild. So again, I deliberately do not continue walking towards him, knowing he's going to jump about halfway, and I do have my teleports on me. So I'm doing a little bit of poking with the anticipation of teleporting to him right here. So there you go. I was able to stay on top of him. I saved my teleports. He does do his fear, which is just wonderful. I don't have any teleports up, so now we are kind of chasing him again. We are now tied up, 10 seconds left, 32-32. And it is a DPS absolute showdown. I die again, 4 seconds left, 31-29, 2 seconds left, 31-29, and time, 31-29. Like I said, coming down to the absolute last couple seconds there. They had us up by 12% at one point. And let me tell you, we felt every second of that pressure. And at the very end, it was like crickets in our alliance chat, and it was just like, did we win? Like, we won, right? So we are moving on. We are in the top 10, and I could not be happier for our alliance, the bakery, our clan. But yeah, so that is the Shadow War. That is some PvP gameplay, if you will, of that mode. It was so much fun. I cannot wait to do it again and hopefully become an immortal. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure you let me know in the comments below, and let me know in the comments how your clan is doing in the Shadow War. Are you guys out? Did you make it to the top 10? Was it a blowout? Was it close? Did you have all your people show up? Talk to me about it in the comments. I will respond to as many as I can. And until next time, guys, lock it in.